the impact of belief systems, and the challenges of functioning from belief. Hi, welcome to this live broadcast on the Insights and Motivation channel on YouTube. In today's discussion, we'll explore the impact of belief systems on our lives and the challenges that arise when we function from a belief-centered perspective. We'll dive into how rigid belief systems have historically shaped societies, limiting critical thinking, flexibility, and progress. By examining these dynamics, we can better understand how to navigate the complexities of modern life with a more open and adaptive mindset. If you're new to the channel, I encourage you to explore my other content and live broadcasts. Your support means a lot, so please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to stay updated with future discussions. Additionally, if you find value in this work, your support through donations via PayPal is greatly appreciated. Let's break down these concepts with historical examples to understand how they have influenced societal progress, or the lack thereof. Impact of belief systems. 1. Rigid and unchangeable nature. Belief systems often demand strict adherence to a specific set of ideas or principles, which can result in societal rigidity and resistance to change. Historical example 1. The medieval church and the geocentric model. For centuries, the Catholic Church promoted the belief in the geocentric model of the universe, which placed Earth at the center. This belief, derived from religious doctrine rather than scientific evidence, was rigidly enforced. When Galileo Galilei presented evidence for the heliocentric model, which correctly placed the sun at the center of the solar system, he was met with fierce opposition. The Church's rigid belief system not only rejected this new knowledge, but also persecuted Galileo, forcing him to recant his findings. This rigidity delayed the acceptance of scientific truth and hindered progress in astronomy and related sciences. Historical example 2. The caste system in India. The caste system in India, deeply rooted in religious beliefs and social customs, created a rigid societal structure that determined people's roles, duties, and social status from birth. This belief system was so ingrained that it justified discrimination and social inequality for centuries. The rigid structure of the caste system stifled social mobility, limited access to education and economic opportunities for lower caste individuals, and perpetuated inequality. Even as modern India has made strides towards equality, the remnants of this belief system still affect societal dynamics, demonstrating the long-lasting impact of rigid belief systems. 2. Association with structure and linearization. Belief systems often impose a structured, linear way of thinking, which can limit the capacity to think critically or adapt to new information. Historical example 1. The Soviet Union and Marxist-Leninist ideology. The Soviet Union's strict adherence to Marxist-Leninist ideology led to a highly structured and controlled society. This belief system promoted a linear view of history, where communism was seen as the inevitable outcome of class struggle. This rigidity stifled innovation and critical thinking, as any deviation from the party line was suppressed. The inflexibility of this belief system contributed to economic stagnation and political repression, ultimately leading to the collapse of the Soviet Union. Historical example 2. The Chinese Cultural Revolution. During the Cultural Revolution, 1966 to 1976, Mao Zedong's belief in the need to purge capitalist and traditional elements from Chinese society led to a highly structured and linear approach to governance. This belief system was enforced through the Red Guards, who destroyed cultural heritage, persecuted intellectuals, and repressed dissent. The rigid structure imposed by this belief system stifled creativity, critical thinking, and educational development, causing long-term damage to Chinese society and culture. Challenges of functioning from belief. 1. Cultivation of rigidity. Functioning from a belief-centered approach tends to cultivate rigidity, where individuals and societies become locked into specific ways of thinking and acting. Historical example 1. The Salem Witch Trials. The Salem witch trials of 1692 are a stark example of how rigid belief in witchcraft and the supernatural led to hysteria and tragedy. The Puritan belief system in colonial Massachusetts viewed any deviation from religious norms as a sign of witchcraft, leading to the persecution and execution of innocent people. The rigid mindset that anything unusual or unexplainable was the work of the devil prevented rational thought and fair trials, resulting in a dark chapter in American history where critical thinking was completely overshadowed by fear and superstition. Historical example 2. The McCarthy era in the United States. During the 1950s, Senator Joseph McCarthy's rigid belief that communism was an existential threat to the United States led to a nationwide witch hunt for supposed communists. This era, known as McCarthyism, was characterized by intense suspicion and the persecution of individuals based on unfounded accusations. The rigid belief that communism was infiltrating American institutions led to widespread fear, ruined careers, and stifled political discourse. The lack of critical thinking and the rigid application of this belief caused significant harm to American society and violated civil liberties. 2. Fixed mindsets and reduced availability to the present moment. Belief-driven functioning often leads to fixed mindsets, where individuals are less present and responsive to the realities of the moment, hindering progress and adaptability. Historical example 1. The fall of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire's decline can be partly attributed to its rigid belief in the superiority and invincibility of Rome. This belief led to complacency and a fixed mindset among Roman leaders, who failed to adapt to changing military, economic, and social conditions. As the empire faced increasing threats from external forces and internal decay, its leaders were often slow to respond effectively because they were entrenched in outdated beliefs about Rome's dominance. This rigidity and lack of adaptability contributed to the eventual collapse of one of history's greatest empires. Historical example 2. The resistance to the abolition of slavery. In the 19th century, the belief in racial superiority and the economic necessity of slavery led to strong resistance against abolition in the United States and other parts of the world. This belief created a fixed mindset among those who benefited from the institution of slavery, making them resistant to the growing movement for human rights and equality. The rigid adherence to this belief delayed the abolition of slavery, resulting in prolonged suffering for millions and deepening social divisions that persisted long after slavery was officially ended. Correlation and integration. The historical examples of the impact of belief systems and the challenges of functioning from belief clearly demonstrate how rigidity in thought and action can hinder progress, stifle critical thinking, and lead to societal harm. Whether through the persecution of new ideas, the suppression of individual freedoms, or the failure to adapt to changing circumstances, rigid belief systems have often played a detrimental role in history. By understanding these patterns, we can recognize the importance of moving away from belief-driven functioning towards a more open, flexible, and adaptive approach. This shift allows for critical thinking, responsiveness to the present moment, and the ability to navigate complex, modern challenges more effectively. In doing so, we can foster a society that is better equipped to learn from the past and build a more just and progressive future. Thank you for joining this exploration of the impact of belief systems and the challenges of functioning from belief, illustrated with historical examples. By learning from these patterns and adopting a more flexible approach to life, we can improve our critical thinking, adaptability, and ability to address the complexities of the modern world. If you found this content valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Don't forget to check out my other videos and consider donating through the PayPal link on my channel to help continue creating insightful content. See you in the next discussion.